Hey, have you ever been to a party, church, or any kind of function that just gathers people around and you had no idea what to say, how to communicate, or even how to hold a conversation with the person next to you? No worries. I think we've all faced that and we've all had that experience before. Our school systems, they taught us how to read, write, and just how to speak, but I don't really think they taught us how to communicate or even hold conversations with one another. The Bible tells us in Proverbs chapter 14, verse 28, it says, a man who has friends must first show himself friendly. So we're going to dive in today on how to hold a conversation part one, and we're going to dive into details and practical application on how to hold a conversation. Stay tuned. Check this intro out.
A lot of things been on my mind lately. A lot of things I've been ruminating and contemplating. A lot of things have been stolen and taken by Satan. A lot of things I don't know about, I'm just trying to make it, but he can't phase me. Forget the 10, my Lord God made me. I ain't talking Mike Bill, word to the underground, yeah, we making noise. And if you didn't know about us, yeah, we them boys. We be spitting smoke.
All right, and welcome to the Heavy Revy Show. I am your host, Josue Ibarra, and welcome to our new segment on Tuesday, How-Tos. Super pumped, man, just to get you guys in the loop on this new way that we're going to help you grow. Again, I like to say this podcast is for average people who desire to grow into the best version of themselves. Really, that's what we're here for. I hope you're liking the new changes. Micah is the man. I pray you guys really enjoyed his message. Man, I tell you what, he is a blessing to me. He not only walks out what he ministers and teaches, but he has that gift to share it so eloquently and share it in a nice, simple way where we can grasp it and run with it. So he's awesome. He's the man. I like to tease him every now and then because he's an old soul, but really, that's one of my best friends, and I'm thankful that God has put him in my life. Well, let's go ahead. Let's dive right into today's message on how to hold a conversation, part one. Like I was saying before, the education system, the school system, they taught us how to read, write, and to speak, but they really didn't teach us how to communicate or hold those conversations. I broke this down into two parts because I understand maybe you're hearing this right now and you say, well, dang it, I'm going to skip this one because I already know how to hold a conversation. I feel fine with talking with people. No worries, and I get that. That's how I am. I feel very confident in talking with people. But this very first episode, or part one, is for those who may have a phobia or fear of just even starting a conversation or stepping out and talking with people. If that's you, this episode is going to bless you. If you're already pretty confident in this, I still encourage you to give it a listen. I'll give you some nice little tips that I use when I'm like, how do I start a conversation with this person, or how do I even, step up and just start speaking. I believe it's going to give you some good tips. Maybe it's something that you haven't even thought of, all right? Or maybe some of this stuff you've heard before. So just let me know in the comments, comment down below what you do to start a conversation. How do you work those out? And we'll go from there. But those who feel very confident in just communicating and talking with people, I really want you to be ready for part two of how to hold a conversation, because this is where I think we're going to go really in depth in communication, and we're going to talk about more of the listening aspect, because really a lot of people listen to respond than really listen to understand. All right. But again, that's a little more deep. That's part two. So don't worry about that right now. Let's talk about right now, part one. How do we even hold and start this conversation? Okay. I like to say this is the golden rule when it comes to communicating or talking with people. And that is have fun. All right. I know that's super simple, but I'll say it again. Have fun. God has put us in this earth to communicate and commune with one another. So have fun. Who cares? Don't try to be sophisticated or be someone that you're not. Have fun with your communication styles and just be yourself. And you know what? If the person isn't receptive to that or receptive to you, who cares? Dust your feet off and move on and talk to someone else. Okay. But that is the golden rule. I'm going to remind you at the end of this again of that golden rule. Have fun. But let's talk about some practical steps. How do we hold and start a conversation? All right. One thing I want to start off is talking about forward. Okay. Ford. And no, I'm not talking about the car or truck Ford, because we all know that means found on the road dead. I'm just kidding. All right. I drove a Ford Taurus my first and second year at Bible College, and it was a blessing. I really loved it. Okay. So I'm not dissing on Ford like that. But We're not talking about Ford vehicles. We're talking about Ford. It's another acronym, and it's going to be something that's going to help you with communicating. And so Ford, it simply stands for family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. All right? I'll say that again. That is family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Think of Ford when you have no idea what to talk about, whether that be that person at that party, whether it be that person at church, whether it be the waitress, whoever, okay? If you were wanting to start a conversation with someone and you don't have no idea what to talk about, focus on those 4 things because one of those things are going to hit and one of those things are going to be able to spark into a beautiful conversation. So first, family. Everyone loves talking about their family, or everyone loves talking crap about their family. Who knows? But family is a subject that it can go fun, it can go crazy, it can go south. However, but it can get the conversation started. Some examples that I do for myself, if I notice something that someone does, and maybe it's something that one of my family does, I'll share that. You know what I mean? Or maybe, they look like one of my family members. Hey, you look like my cousin. Hey, you're not crazy like her, are you? I'll have fun with just a conversation and just starting that off and spinning that off, right? Or maybe occupation. Now, I remember my high school teacher would always tell us that, how grown-ups talk. They talk, what do you do for a living? What's your job? How'd you get started there? How long have you been doing that? And that's okay. Again, this is just starting the conversation. And Ford, that's all it's for. It's for starting the conversation. So don't, get so worried like, I don't want to be stuck in talking about, just someone's job. But that's okay. Maybe they're very passionate about what they do. So that's good. You can start a conversation with occupation. You can also start with recreation. Again, just notice someone, maybe they're wearing a pair of Jordans and you like basketball. So comment on that. Hey man, love your kicks. Those are awesome. I like playing basketball. Do you play ball? No. You're a stunner. So you just, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Hey, joke with them. That's what I do. I like joking. I like having fun. So I'll play around in that sense. You know what I mean? Lastly is dreams. Share your dreams. Now, I'm not talking about being like Joseph and saying, hey, you're going to bow down and worship me. All right, no, I'm just kidding. That's an awesome passage of Scripture in Genesis. Good old Joseph. Awesome man of God. Okay, but talk more about your dreams and what you aspire to do. That's what I really love talking about. I have good friends that we just share each other's dreams. We're able to share with. And so maybe I see someone who's doing what I want to do. Someone who's podcasting. So I may not know them, but I'm going to go up there and start that conversation with them. Hey, man, love what you're doing. Like your podcast. Better Way, super dope. Better Way podcast is pretty awesome, though. Shout out Ryan Haley. He was during one of my first interviews, and yeah, that dude's awesome. But, hey, with starting that conversation, having that flow, now I'm on Apple iTunes, Spotify, and Anchor Podcast, Google Podcasts, all that. But that just started with a conversation, me just stepping out and just saying, hey. You know what I mean? Sharing the dreams. So those are just acronyms that can help you. Again, that is family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Okay? So let's dive in a little more. All right? So that's how to start the conversation and go in. How do we keep it flowing and going? Okay? One of the biggest things is to ask questions. I love Dr. Dean Radke. He is an awesome, just man of God who is teaching ministries how to do, business functions, how to operate as a business. And so obviously this isn't a topic about business, but one thing that I love that he says is when you ask questions, that gives value. So asking questions gives value. So when you ask questions to somebody, you're saying, hey, I value you and I want to know more about you. Or, hey, I want to know more about your thought or your idea. And people will most likely appreciate it, okay? So ask relevant questions. Why is a good one? Ask why. Why, do you like your Jordans? Or why did you come out here to school? Why, asking those questions. Why is your family crazy? Family, why did you choose that job, occupation? Why do you like, playing basketball, recreation, and, why do you want to be a podcaster? Dreams. You can hit on all those things and ask the why to that person, and it's really going to be mining for gold for them. Everyone's favorite subject is themselves. And I know as a Christians, we're probably thinking like, oh man, we shouldn't be selfish like that. But in just most cases, it's true. Everyone loves talking about themselves. You know what I mean? Like here to prove a point, and this isn't necessarily communicating why, but just how much we think of ourselves so much is, we can take a group photo together, and the very first person you're going to look at is yourself. And to take it even another level, you're going to judge if that photo looks good based on how you look. Everyone else can be looking like a dime, and you look and you're like, man, I look like a donkey. So this picture's gross. No, we got to retake it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're focused on ourselves in that sense. The other person next to you, same thing. Ask questions about themselves. Get them to start talking about themselves. One thing I just want to be cautious with this too is when it comes to holding those conversations and asking why, be genuine. People can tell when you're not being genuine or you really don't care. You're just trying to start a conversation, but be genuinely interested in what the person's sharing. I don't know what it is in us, but we can tell when you're being disingenuine. So be genuine when you ask those questions, and be really attentive to listen. And we're going to talk really heavily and deeply in part 2 of how to hold a conversation. Okay, but again, this is just more for just for beginners who want to start out and get out there and just start talking with people and conversating. Okay. A caution that I want to give out though for when it comes to asking relevant questions is do not turn it into an interview. I have done this so many times where, I've found a thing that's worked for me is asking a lot of questions. But then I ask too many questions to the sense of where now it is turning into an interview, and that person's like, Lord of God, help me, get me out of this conversation. And I've done that, and it's okay. I think we all have done something silly in a conversation, but praise God, you just move on, you keep going, okay? But do not turn into an interview. Okay, so that's where our third step is going to come in, and that's how do we respond. Okay, so again, that is Ford. Remember, that's family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. All right, ask relevant questions. Make sure you're asking those good questions. Why is a good one. Okay, get people to talk about themselves because that's everyone's favorite subject. And remember, do not, I repeat, don't do it. Turn it into an interview. Okay, so let's talk about then how do we respond when we ask those questions. Okay, so responding, one person I think of is one of my old youth back in the day. Shout out Zaylin Ross. Man, he's awesome. I'm missing him. He's in Savannah, Georgia right now, helping out just with his mom. They're just doing great out there. Heard they're doing great things, and I love Zaylin. All right, Zaylin was just an awesome young man, and I remember I was mentoring him and just discipling him different things. I'd take him out for coffee and just once a month, and we'd just sit down and we would just talk. And just, I remember asking him, one time, I said, Zaylin, what is one thing that you really want to grow in? What do you want to, what do you want to do? And he was saying, Josh, that's what they call me, Josh. I want to grow in my communication skills. So I said, great, let's do that. And so we kind of evaluated just how he, communicates. And one of the biggest things is he was that guy. Okay. And this all comes to respond. Do not be that guy. What do I mean by that guy? We all know this guy. We've all been this guy before when we didn't feel like having conversations. But that guy is the one who gives off one-off answers and is really a heavy burden in communicating and sharing. What do I mean by that? You ask someone, how's your day? Good. Do you like Star Wars? No. What do you like to do for fun? Nothing. Or I don't know. If you can't expect your conversation to last very long if that's going to be your response. I forgot to share this on the asking questions sites too. Try not to ask questions with yes or no's. Ask questions where you have to elaborate and actually share a little more. And that's why is a good one. Okay. Don't be that guy. And I remember Zaylin was that guy. I'd always ask him, Zaylin, what you do today? Nothing. And the reason that's such a burden is because, you as a person, that asked that question and heard nothing, you have nothing to respond off of. You have nothing to kind of lean and gleam to go with. You know what I mean? So it's a lot harder to keep that conversation alive and keep that conversation going. Okay, so just a tip from improv. So I like improv. Improv comedy is hilarious. Maybe one day I'll take a class because it sounds like a lot of fun. But one of the rules in improv is to say yes and. Okay, so yes and is capital and. Okay, because what that means is don't just respond and pause, but respond and give a why behind. So I'm not telling you to, improv, tells you you can't say no. I'm not here saying that you can't, say no or to lie in a conversation. Like if you generally don't like Star Wars, which something's wrong with you, I'm just kidding. But if you don't like Star Wars, share no, but give the reason why you don't like Star Wars. Or if you did nothing today, nothing, share what it was. Maybe, I was just stuck doing laundry all day, okay. I can go off that. You know what I mean? I can respond and play around with laundry, if that makes sense. So share yes and. So give a why behind, again, which gives opportunities for people to respond back. Okay? Also, when it comes to responding, read and react. Okay? So don't be that guy. Use the improv tip, yes and, which means, give your response and a why behind what you're saying. But then read and react. What I mean by that, people leave clues. It's like Hansel and Gretel. People leave little breadcrumbs of what they really want to talk about. You know what I mean? If someone is responding to you and they're sharing some details maybe about work, maybe about this or that, but you can hear, man, maybe they're passionate about something. Maybe they're smiling about this. Maybe they're sad. Maybe they're complaining. Maybe they're angry. Whatever they're geared towards or wherever there's more life and passion, ask questions based on that. So read them in the sense of, example. I remember talking with one of my roommates a while back, and I remember asking him, "How was your day, man?" And he was just saying, "Hey, it was whatever. Work was okay, this and that." And I began to see his eyes, and I noticed they were red. Okay, so one thought was, all right, he's in Colorado. Is he stoned? But no, I'm just kidding. He's not that kind of guy. But I noticed, okay, it looked like my man's been crying. So I'm going to ask a deeper question there to hold that conversation. And it was awesome. We were able to talk, share. He was sharing his heart out. And we were able to minister to one another. And it went good. It went really good. But it's because I read and reacted. He was telling me these certain things, but I read into his eyes and I saw, man, my boy is sad. There's something up. He just left home. He was 18 and, wasn't used to being away from home and stuff like that. And so I was able to respond and love on the guy. All right. So with that, when you are communicating with somebody, read them. Read what they're passionate about. I love doing this with youth. I can tell a youth has a certain passion about something by just the way they smile or they're just talking about it. Some kid was talking about Minecraft. I still don't know what Minecraft is, but I asked him a lot of questions about it, and I got somewhat educated, but I'm still very confused on Minecraft. Sorry, guys. But you know what I mean? You're able to read on just how they communicate and how they respond to you. Okay, these are some tips that I use. They're just a little bit of tips. There's plenty of others. I definitely recommend some good books that can help you with this if you feel like, man, I want to grow even deeper. Improv Your Communication is a good one. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I believe it's chapter 4, where it talks about seek first to understand, then to be understood. Crucial Conversations, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Those are great books, great reads that maybe can help you to grow in this part of having a communication or having a conversation with people. But remember, I just really want to drive this home. Have fun. That's all this is all for, is to have fun. Enjoy your conversation. Enjoy talking with and communicating with other people. Enjoy just getting to know somebody, because that's what Jesus did. Jesus was able to come and to give life and just share and just to interact with people. So I want to encourage you, step out there. I know, and I'm kind of sensing this in my heart, and sorry, I'm going to get spiritual on you real quick, but maybe you've been rejected and hurt by people, but I want to encourage you to step out and give people another chance, because you know what Jesus did? Jesus gave them another chance, and he was willing to die on the cross. And so step out, have those conversations. And hey, like I said, if you get rejected, hey, they rejected Jesus. It's okay. Keep moving, all right? So recap, just hold and start a conversation. Keep it flowing is forward, all right? You can talk about family, occupation, recreation, dreams, all right? Remember to ask relevant questions, ask good questions. Start with why. Why is a good question when people respond to certain things. Get people to talk about themselves. That's everyone's favorite subject. Again, have that caution. Don't turn it into an interview, okay? So when someone responds to you, play off of what they respond, okay? When it comes to responding, again, don't be that guy, all right? Don't give one-off answers. Give an answer and give some little wit behind it, okay? Again, remember, read and react. Whatever people say or share, be cautious. Pay attention to their body language. Pay attention to what they're saying. Pay attention to what they're emphasizing on, and really dive deep into that, okay? You guys are awesome. I'm going to leave you with a challenge today. This is something that Mike and I talk about really big on. We're very passionate about is if you don't go out and do it, you know what? You're not going to grow or you're not going to learn from it. Okay. It's just going to be knowledge, and that's no help. Okay. So I'm going to give you 3 challenges. Okay. I got an easy challenge for you. Ooh, that was going to end up being bad. I got an easy challenge for you. I got a moderate challenge for you. And I got a deep challenge for you. Okay, so the very first challenge that I have for you is, and it's easy. Talk to a cashier or a waiter. Start a conversation with them. One of the best places to go to, and I'm not sponsored by anyone right now, so I'll give a little free sponsor to good old Dutch Bros. All right, Dutch Bros Coffee. I don't have Dutch Bros here. Wish I did. But Dutch Bros is awesome because they're already going to start a conversation with you. So go there and just have that conversation. Think of forward, okay? Think of family, occupation, recreation, dreams, and just respond and have fun with that conversation, okay? That is our easy challenge, okay? So again, if you just want to step out, go to Dutch Bros. All right, they'll talk with you. Secondly, maybe this is a little moderate challenge. But if you're at church, okay, talk to the person who's by themselves. Talk to the person who isn't, has anyone to talk with, and just really be nice to them. Again, think of forward. Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Ask those questions why. And just have fun with that conversation. All right. And the last one, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a little deep. All right. Why don't you try doing this with your crush? Yeah. All right. Do this with your crush and just start that conversation, all right? Now, if you guys end up getting married because of this challenge, you don't have to name them after me, Josue. That's a hard name, and, I don't want to, put that burden on you. I want you to name them after my dad, Eliu, okay? E-L-I-U. I'm just kidding. That's hard. That's harder than Josue. But no, those are my challenges for you guys. Just kidding with y'all. But again, talk to a waiter. That's easy. Okay, talk to a waiter, waitress. Again, I really encourage you, if you want to go easy, go to Dutch Bros. Plus, you're going to get some good coffee and have those conversation skills sharpened. Second, it's a moderate challenge. Talk to somebody at church that's by themselves. Start it. All right. And then that challenge, that hard one, talk to your crush and get after it. All right. Last thing I want to leave with you guys is you won't grow unless you try. Say it again. You won't grow unless you try. So get out there, start that conversation. Those of you who are new to the podcast, I have another episode coming out tomorrow. It's called Wednesday's Word from the Wise, and we're going to share some deep revelations with you, have some awesome conversation, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So you guys are awesome. Love you guys. Peace.
A lot of things been on my mind lately. A lot of things I've been ruminating and contemplating. A lot of things have been stolen and taken by Satan. A lot of things I don't know about, I'm just trying to make it, but he can't faze me. Forget the 10, my Lord God made me. I ain't talking Mike Bill, word to the underground, yeah, we making noise. And if you didn't know about us, yeah, we them boys. We be spitting smoke.